To me, the 90s represented how human fashion is and how important authenticity is. Back when you could walk past someone on the street and know that they didn't think too deep into their outfit, knowing that their style couldn't be bought and that it was just in them, you know? I'd have to say one difference between now and then is that back then people wore the clothes and they didn't let the clothes wear them. This is the decade of the iconic Tommy Hilfiger collab with Aaliyah, the death of the beloved Gianni Versace, and the release of the hit movie Titanic, and many other iconic moments. But before we begin, here are my sources. Unlike the 80s where everything was exaggerated, bright, and disorienting, the 90s laid-back, casual nature was a breath of fresh air. One of the kickstarters of 90s fashion trends was the modifications of the body, like piercings and tattoos. This also went hand in hand with the grunge era, which had young men and women wanting to look like Kurt Cobain. And it was from there that we got the casual chic and preppy style. But with all this talk about trendy fashion in the early 2000s, I can't help but notice that we don't often talk about how much of a impact that the Black and Chicano community had on 90s fashion. As far back as the 1940s, one way that Mexican teens fought against false accusations and allegations from law enforcement was through fashion. Zoot suits, which were oversized, overly padded suits, were adopted. However, fast forward to the 1990s, the 1990s were a crucial time for Mexican Americans because around this time the community rang more and more awareness about the lack of representation for the Chicano creatives. Another widely known trend that we often do today that is not often talked about its origins is the black or dark brown lip liners. Both Black and Mexican women invented the dark brown or black lip liner trend back in the 80s, 90s due to the lack of shades that complemented melanin or darker skin tones. This trend ended up being seen on the likes of Naomi Campbell and Tyra Banks and way more all the way up until modern day. Aside from the ladies, the gentlemen's fashion was also very diverse and authentic. A lot of the streetwear we wear and see today is inspired by the urban style of men in the 90s, which was heavily present amongst rap artists such as Tupac, Biggie, Nas, LL Cool J, NWA, Snoop Dogg, and more. Other than the streetwear side, we had men like Kurt Cobain, Jared Leto, Lenny Kravitz, and Brad Pitt wearing the grunge style. Although I mentioned a lot of big names in fashion and in music, there's one more name that I have to mention, and that special name is none other than Aaliyah. Not only did Aaliyah come on the scene with a new sound, but a new unique style as well. In the music video of her debut single, she sang over a hip-hop beat while sporting an oversized jacket, crop top, oversized denim jeans, and boots. During this time, this wasn't common, especially in the music industry or fashion industry. Along with her girly tomboyish style, her signature side part and side bangs will always be remembered as well. Canadian rapper Havaya Mighty stated, "She disturbed the mold of expectation in the most beautiful way and is missed dearly by anyone who's had a chance to experience her art." Another fashion pioneer of the 90s I feel as though we need to discuss is none other than Lil' Kim. I'll keep it brief, but Lil' Kim in the 90s was the muse for many. One of her most iconic moments was when she was a guest of Donatella Versace at the Met Gala when the theme was rock and roll. Kim sported a long mink coat, a two-piece bra and short set, and snakeskin high-heel boots. Lil' Kim later mentioned in an interview that the mink coat was one of a kind and the heels were straight off the runway, and the shoes did not actually fit. She stated, "Mind you, I wear a 4.5, 5-inch shoe, but they didn't make the shoe she wanted me to wear that small. The only ones that were available were the ones on the runway for the models. Those were a size 8, but they were too beautiful and I loved them." And we definitely can't forget this iconic award show appearance and Miss Diana Ross's response.